Let's now get some political analysis on the UDM and its vision with political analyst, Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast. Professor Breakfast, appreciate your time this evening. Now, let's start with the key motivations and goals behind Bantu Holomisa's decision to leave the ANC and establish the UDM 26 years ago.
Yeah, so he was expelled because I think he testified at the TRC about the late Stella South. And also recommended to the ANC that she should be suspended or not be appointed as a minister. And that did not sit well with some people within the ANC. And, you know, the ANC at that time was also embroiled in some scandals of corruption. I think the one that comes to mind was the Sarafina scandal of 1996. When he left the ANC, he then joined forces with Prof and then established the party, I think, in 1997. The party did very well in its first election of 1999 because they got 14 seats. But then the party was dealt with a blow in the second election that it participated in because then it got 9 seats. In fact, I think it was dealt with a blow in a big way when Prof left, because at that time when Prof was still around, I think the party had a national footprint. But of late, I think the party has been confined to the Eastern Cape. And also the party, I mean, has not been doing well in terms of its electoral performance. For instance, you know, in 1999, as I pointed out, the party got 14 seats. In 2004, the party got 9 seats. In 2000, I think, and 9, the party got 4 seats. Now the party has only 2 seats. So the party has not been doing well. And the party, unfortunately, in my opinion, has been revolving around one personality. Yes, there is another guy in, I think it's Ngwangwa, if I'm not mistaken. He also speaks on behalf of the party. But I don't think that the party has a national footprint.
Well, you raise an important issue there, Professor, and that's why has Bantu Holomisa remained at the helm of the UDM for 25 years? And obviously what impact his leadership has had on the party's growth and obviously its relevance.
Yes, look, I mean, he is loved by many people, you know, because I still remember in the late 90s, you know, Xhosa people here in the Eastern Cape, they used to say, Holomisa akaithandi corruption, meaning that General Holomisa doesn't like corruption. So he has that track record of taking a stand against corruption. But I think maybe he has overstayed his welcome. He needs to hand over now to, you know, the up-and-coming leaders who can take the party to greater heights.
Well, we know that the ANC has been singing the same tune, and that's of reinvention. And Bantu Holomisa today talked about the importance of reinvention. Now, just how critical do you think reinvention is for him to move from the 2 seats they have currently ahead of next year's election and maybe garner a few more?
Yeah, I think the party, if it wants to do well, it needs to reach out to different racial categories. It needs to, you know, reach out to different ethnic groups, not only limit itself to the Eastern Cape, because in my view, the party has a strong slant of Xhosa speaking people. So it needs to expand its footprint and also its outlook and go to other provinces. I mean, General Holomisa is known to be a man of integrity, someone who doesn't like corruption and so on. But I think they need to leverage on their strong points and put their party on the map if they want to pose a serious threat to the ANC. Yes, they do pose a threat to the ANC in the Eastern Cape, in particular in the former Transkei. But I don't think that they're posing a threat to the ANC in other places in the country.
So let's talk a couple of things here, Professor. And Bantu Holomisa's vision and strategy for the UDM's involvement in the 2024 national general election, especially in light of his refusal to join the DA-led multi-party charter and ANC coalitions. I mean, the fact that he speaks the language, he speaks against corruption, which seems to be the bedrock of the ANC, one might argue. Does he have room for growth? Is he employing the right strategies? Because if he is loved and respected for being so forthright and an individual of integrity, surely this is the best possible chance for him to grow his footprint.
He's not the only one who has issues with the DA. I think also ACGP, they've got some issues with the DA in terms of their posture. They think that the DA likes to bully other smaller political parties, and they've been arguing that in terms of international best practices, coalition arrangements, deals are struck after the democratic outcomes, not before. And he's the one who has been arguing that if political parties are going to join forces to dislodge the ANC from the helm of power, they need to contest under one umbrella, not what the DA has been proposing. So I think that is a matter of a principle, but I'm not sure if they're going to improve their electoral performance in the upcoming general elections. Of course, one of the things that you spoke about, which is true, is the fact that the party doesn't have a lot of resources, because you don't win elections only by having a good message. You have to have money. And the party falls short in terms of being funded, like other political parties like the DA or like the ANC, which is another factor that might hamstring the party.
So what's changed? Because when he first started 26 years ago and they won those 14 seats, they didn't have much to their name in terms of money, but they amassed or they won 14 seats.
Well, the strategic advantage of the party then was that they had Roof Mayor. Yes, he had also his political baggage, but because he was a white person, I think even other white people, they saw the party as a way out of corruption. You must remember at that time there was this perception that the ANC was sort of like enjoying a trade train, and there was that scandal of in '96 of Sarafina. So people saw UDM as a way out of a corruption. But when Roof Mayor left the party, it was dealt with a blow.
So if we juxtapose the ANC and the UDM, just for a quick point of comparison, we have the former heads of government, or the former presidents, Kgalema Motlanthe, Thabo Mbeki, that will quip in occasionally and say to the ANC, try to rein them in or make criticism, sometimes publicly, sometimes in private. Who does this for the UDM? Because when you look at how the party has diminished over the years, are they faltering in this regard? Does he have the right advisors?
Yeah, the party, to a larger extent, does come across to be a one-man show. The party has had only one president. Same as the IFP, of course, before the late Umntwana died, at least he handed over the reins. But the party, I think, has been revolving around the personality of one person, and that personality comes across to be overbearing, on the party. That seems to be a problem.
Professor Breakfast, as always, appreciate the conversation, and thanks for highlighting those issues to us, Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast.